Edinburgh Airport, 6.5 miles west of the city centre. It's the busiest airport in Scotland and the 6th busiest in the UK.
People don't really know what it's like to work in an airport and think, oh, they all think it's the glamour up front. You're on a desk, you've got a uniform on, but to know what it's like behind the scenes, it's a whole different world round here.
Over the last 12 months, a new management team has brought big changes and a new ambition.
We'd like the airport to be seen as the best airport in the world. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're the biggest.
Selling the airport as the place to be around the globe.
We thought their presentation was very valuable. They made a strong and compelling case for why it could make sense for American to consider Edinburgh in the future.
And keeping 2,500 airport workers on their toes.
There's been a lot of change, so there's a lot of people that worked here that no longer work here. That puts you on edge a little.
Pushing hard to increase customer numbers. Because in this business, passengers mean profit.
And that is £53.98 then.
But there's turbulence ahead.
We knew it was going to be really busy. And like what happens every day at an airport, something will go wrong.
It's a special day at Edinburgh Airport. Joining the established carriers is a new face. Air Canada Rouge. The good news is the inaugural flight is fully booked. The bad, long snaking queues, taking the check-in staff by surprise.
We're getting there, just a couple of teeth minutes.
Is that it? Okay.
Yes, thanks.
It's been chaotic, queuing up.
All right, what's been the problem?
Well, just the wait, really.
We've got an invitation here for you to come and join us for some light refreshments before we've got the flight to board. Because it's our first flight, everybody's getting together.
Air Canada Rouge regret to announce a delay to the departure of flight number AC1906 to Toronto.
This is due to operational reasons, and this flight will now depart in 30 minutes.
A little bit late today, yeah. We have a lot of attention happening, so a lot of photo shoots. We don't mind. It's okay, though. We'll make up time. And we'll ensure that everyone has a great flight.
What's with the uniforms then?
So our uniforms, we're casual but chic. We're not a jazz band. Air Canada Rouge.
Both the airline and the airport hope some complimentary treats and a slice or two of traditional Toronto cake will appease delayed passengers. And it seems to be working. Just.
I don't think they had enough attendants processing people, so it was about at least an hour to check in, so it was a little long. But other than that, it was great.
The Air Canada baggage is injected into a system already running at full capacity. At peak times, around 71,000 bags a week ride these rails, and the baggage hall staff do their best to monitor the journey of every single one of them.
Our main role in here is to keep the flow of bags going from the check-in desk right through to where the handlers collect the bags. On our main overview, what we can see is when the passenger walks into the main check-in hall, we have the check-in desks ranging from 00 up to number 45. The bag would be put onto the weight scale, and once the ticket's been put on by the airline staff, the baggage would be put onto the lines, and the bag would be followed through the lines by the scanners, through the scanners onto the sorter.
What happens when the bags come down the chutes, each bin's allocated a different flight. Bags will go into the bins and they'll be allocated to the aircraft. This is one of the bingo cards that we use, so all the bags, tags that are on here are for all the bags that are in this bin. As soon as the bag drops down the chute, the guys will come over, take the tag off the bag, place the tag on here, and the bag goes in here. When the flight closes, this is going to correspond with everything that goes out to the aircraft. So that stays there. It gets signed off by the leading hand that's on the baggage hall. I can check them at times as well, just to make sure they're doing their job properly, but usually I don't have to, because they're pretty good guys. You all right, Mark? Very much. Smile. Yeah, it's like one big happy family. Sometimes.
As you can see from here, we've got a bag jam just at a 232 lower. We're going to actually just move the bag out. If you look along, my colleague's just radio's another flow, D214.
But at peak times, jams can occur at any point on the hundreds of metres of track.
It's just because the system's so busy at the moment. We say we're working off the 3 lines, so it keeps us busy.
To keep the system going, any repair methods are acceptable. The consequences of failure are serious. Not just inconvenience and disruption for the passengers, but a huge loss of revenue for the airport.
The other effect of us delaying baggage is the flights get delayed. If we don't have the bags to the aircraft, then the aircraft can take a delay. On occasion, pilots can say we're going to go without the baggage, which isn't great for customers. It doesn't happen a great deal. It's only if they're possibly tied in with tight schedules at Heathrow, etc.
But at least today's short delay gives the Air Canada flight crew a chance to prepare for takeoff and to try out some recent additions to their new uniforms.
Oh, well, we were in the Royal Mile and we saw these hats and we thought they were quite entertaining. Yeah.
And are you the captain, are you?
Yes, one of the captains. We have 2 captains today. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're just kind of you're just trying to get into the spirit of things.
That's right.
Behind the fun and games is a hard-nosed business team. Launching a new airline at any airport is a result of months or even years of planning and an investment of millions of pounds. But now senior management can at last see the fruits of their hard endeavours.
I mean, the airport's a huge number of smaller things that add up, but fundamentally we're here to make that happen. It's about giving people choice to fly and getting airlines offering new destinations. So that's the pinnacle. If these things aren't moving off the tarmac, then the rest of it doesn't really matter for much. So.
That's the money shot.
Yeah, that's the money shot.
70 years Air Canada had a relationship with Scotland, and to get them back into Scotland, into Edinburgh, it's absolutely massive and fantastic. You just think of the Scots diaspora that's in Canada and the amount of Scots that need to go back and forward. It's connecting people, and it's fantastic. It's what it's all about.
Connecting the people requires many more flights. And with more flights, there's a need for more aircraft parking stands. Juggling the limited resources is a constant challenge.
The airport is busier. Obviously, we've got new carriers in. We have Air Canada, which are new carriers operating from Edinburgh on new routes as well. And it's something certainly the Edinburgh Airport are looking to expand in the future, attracting more carriers and more routes to the airport. So you have the aircraft, each lozenge, which is what they're known as, represents how long the aircraft's on the ground for. So you'll see there that we have an aircraft that's coming in at 10:40 and departing at 11:20. So we need to make sure that there's enough time before the aircraft arrives and after it departs to make sure that we don't have an aircraft overlapping that, because the last thing we want to do is plan for an aircraft to vacate the stand at the same time another one comes in, because things very rarely run to schedule. So you'll end up with aircraft needing to diversify from the plan.
Well, he needs re-rolled. We'll be able to get him a stand on the main somewhere, no problem.
Laura's master plan is under constant review.
We're not doing anything until Sunday. Brilliant, is it?
With the daily operation crew continually refining and rejigging it on an hourly basis. And each new carrier adding to the squeeze.
Stevie, you got a stand for this Jet 2 coming over at 2:30.
Ah, right, okay, let's do that now. They can bring over stand 2 whenever they're ready.
Stand 2 whenever you're ready. Yep, okay, cheers.
Each airline has a unique and commercially sensitive contract with the airport, covering landing fees, fuel, overnight parking, stand time and even the use of an air bridge. But this is only one way the airport makes money. Passenger spend in the departure lounge is the other. The airport receives a percentage of every transaction, so they are keenly incentivised to make sure things run smoothly.
Yeah, have a good flight. Thanks, bye-bye.
At offices hidden away behind the terminal building, future planning guru Kevin Jamieson and his team have been tasked to find solutions to all the airport's challenges.
Phases 2 and 3.
I think so.
Nothing's easy at the airport. The trouble that we're having at the moment is that we're having to develop on so many fronts at once. It's really, really complicated. We've got issues with airspace. The space in the sky is finite, so to speak. We've got issues parking on the ground. We can't park enough aircraft here. We've got issues in our car park. We've got issues in check-in. So essentially what we're trying to do is trying to advance everything on a front. Hence the reason we call it a war room. This is a bit of this is the front line here where we're trying to develop everything in this room.
Provisional plans have been drawn up by Kevin and his team, which address the capacity issues. Stage 1, an ambitious extension to the existing terminal, built in 1977.
Essentially, where all those windows are in the terminal building, there'll be a large two-storey box is extended outwards from the building round about to the back of the CityLink bus, and that is going to house a new security hall with underlying retail and office space.
But while the expansion plans are kept under review, the airport must function as best it can within the existing footprint. With more international flights like Air Canada Rouge, the immigration hall is also feeling the squeeze.
You can see that we are getting very busy now. The Copenhagen and the Cancun have dropped, the New York's dropped, the Toronto's dropped. This hall holds approximately between 400 and 450 passengers maximum. Currently I would say that we're working on the basis of maybe about 1,100, so we are well above capacity. We're probably working about 250 to 300% above capacity now. So we are in a very pressurised point with passengers actually backing out onto the tarmac now. So I think it's quite clear to see that there are limitations with this current hall.
The terminal building was originally built to cater for 1 million passengers a year. The current footfall is 10 times that. And the Chief Operating Officer and his team are pushing for even more.
Morning, Karen.
Morning, how are you?
I'm very well, yourself?
Feeling well?
I'm feeling well.
Yeah.
Karen's one of the terminal duty officers. She manages the check-in hall fantastically well. No, we've got a lot of growth plans, of course. We want to see Edinburgh grow to 13 million passengers over the next 6-7 years. Check-in's one of the necessary evils at airports, especially if you've got baggage to drop for the hold. So try to make it simpler, try to make it as quick as we possibly can, and make sure that the passenger experience is as good as we can possibly make it.
David Wilson is part of the crack new management team, hired by the airport's new owners, private equity group GIP. It's 1 year since they took control of Edinburgh Airport, after former owners BAA were forced to sell, reducing their dominant position in the market.
It's a massive milestone. I think there's been a huge amount of effort and energy by all the teams, the whole effort put in to manage all the changes, some new people in, new ways of working, new dynamic way of approaching how we do business. Real focus on the customer. I think it's been a fantastic first year. Still lots to do, and sometimes we've not got it right, but we've tried things differently. We've empowered our people, and I think that, especially when I speak to passengers today on the first anniversary, they're absolutely delighted with the changes we've seen, and seen a lot of improvements.
Since the new owners moved in, substantial changes have been made to the day-to-day running of the airport and the staffing levels, with only 2 of the original 9 senior managers still in place. Airport duty manager Lorna Firth survived the takeover.
I think the expectation of us is a lot higher, which I think is good because it allows you to own the operation, it allows you to challenge and question things on the operation. With we've got a daily meeting that we have every day. We've always had that, but it's different now. People are having to stand up and answer to things that go wrong, which is good.
Right, okay, good morning all. This is looking at Thursday's report. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of red on it today.
It's really good, but also there's been a lot of change. So there's a lot of people that worked here that no longer work here. That puts you on edge a little, but I think maybe in a good way, because it makes you, well, I've always worked hard, but it makes you work maybe that extra bit harder because you don't know who's watching. Any problems with that, just give us a shout, alright?
Perfect, right.
Hello, duty manager.
In my direct exec team, there's 2 from 9 remaining members of staff that predate the takeover by GIP. So I don't think that's